Hello and welcome to the 12 p.m. show. I am Vaibhav Tripathi, your host for this particular one show. And the IPL, the IPL 2026 is has already entered its business stage. The playoffs race will heat up. Today is a double header, and by the end of this weekend, all most of the teams will complete their 7 games. And now, there are no. Teams cannot afford any slips, especially the ones who are at the bottom half. And interestingly, this season, most of the captains haven't been able to lead their team from the front with their performances. Somebody like Riyan Parag has not performed, but his team has done reasonably well. Then Ishan Kishan, Shubman Gill, they have done to some extent they have done well, but most of the captains haven't done well. Whether it's Ajinkya Arane, Ruturaj Gaikwad, Akshar Patel, you talk about them. But one man who has been doing everything right is Shreyas Iyer. If you look at Punjab Kings' performance this season, the only unbeaten team, Shreyas Iyer has done everything right. If you look at
Yeah, I think Webob's. I don't know what happened to his screen, so
No, no,
let me take
Shuman,
over.
Shuman, you conduct the show.
Yeah, yeah. So let me take over. I think see, Shreyas Iyer has done reasonably well, and the talk. He's the talk of the town right now. Whether with the for his performances with the bat, or whether his captaincy skills, which have garnered him a lot of praise since his Delhi Capitals days. Not only for Punjab Kings, since his Delhi Capitals day, he was the IPL winner for Kolkata Knight Riders as well, and he's back. Webber is back.
yeah, so sorry for the internet mishap, but yes, I think Rohit also joined. I'll just let him in. So yeah, Shreyas Iyer has done everything right. If you look at Punjab Kings, the only unbeaten team in the tournament so far, and we look at Shreyas Iyer's performances, it has gone one level up. He last year he was striking at 170. This year he's been striking at 180. Three half centuries, and all three half centuries at venues where he historically hasn't performed well. So everything going right in Shreyas Iyer's way. If you'll take into account the last season as well, right from the last season, he has carried into the form, which brings us to the question of our show. The question that we are asking in this particular show is it time to give the captaincy baton to Shreyas Iyer? Is he the right contender? Because if you look at Surya Kumar Yadav's performance, only was half century that came in Delhi when Hardik Pandya wasn't leading. So if Shreyas Iyer, which he last year he performed, this year also halfway mark he's been performing really well. So if Shreyas Iyer is in the captaincy talks, where it will leave Surya Kumar Yadav? That is the question that we are asking. And obviously, we have got a elite panel of guests with us: Shamik Chakravarti, Shubhayan Chakravarti, and Rohit Juglan. So I'll start with the opening remarks, guys. Shamik, I will start with you. Where do you stand on this? Because if you look at Shreyas Iyer's record as a captain, he was the first captain to lead Delhi Capitals to the final in 2020. Then he led KKR to a title after 11 years of gap. Then he led Mumbai to Syed Mushtaq Ali Trophy. Last year, he took Punjab Kings to the final for the first time after 2014. And this year also, his team is right at the top, halfway mark through the season.
Vaibhav, see, the beauty of Shreyas Iyer is that he is reveling in his captaincy at this moment in time in Punjab Kings, which for a change over the last 2 years has been offering a perfect setup, thanks to Ricky Ponting also. It has been. He reveled in his captaincy, which was not sort of a very perfect setup that was KKR. Because there everything centered around Gautam Gambhir, and Shreyas Iyer was not given the due that he deserved. He was not given the credit. At the end of the day, it was captain's team, and the decisions that were taken on the field, the majority of them were taken by Shreyas Iyer. Now, KKR, if you look at their current travels, the damage was done 2 years ago when they decided not to retain their title winning captain who was sitting in their dugout. They refused to fork out a few extra quid. They brought back Venkatesh Iyer for 22 crore instead, but refused to give Shreyas Iyer a few extra quid. Now the basic problem for KKR at this moment is a leadership crisis. I'm not going to KKR, but Shreyas Iyer currently the way, and it is not about leading from the front. There is a difference between captaincy and leadership. Captaincy, tactically, you might be great, but leadership is something different. MS Dhoni had that quality. Rohit Sharma had that quality. They are leaders. Now, um, uh, Nehal Wadhera. Nehal Wadhera came for the pre-match press conference um, before the game against Mumbai Indians, and he was asked about his current form. And until that MI game, he was not scoring consistently. And he said, I had a conversation with Shreyas last night, and he said, "Tu bindas khel, pressure mere par chhod de." That is leadership. That is leadership. Now, whether Shreyas would succeed Surya Kumar Yadav, at the end of the day, performance matters. Surya is the World Cup winning captain, and he will not be removed at the drop of a hat, at least until the England white ball series in England. I see him at the helm. But after that, because we have seen, um, after winning the Champions Trophy, Rohit Sharma is removed as ODI captain. But then again, that was a different thing because India are planning for the 2027 World Cup. Here also, a new T20I cycle will begin after the T20 after the IPL, and from there, if Surya continues to fail, if he will have to score runs. That is the main thing. There is no problem with Surya's captaincy, but he will have to score runs. If he doesn't do that, then the selectors will have to think. Akshar Patel is the sorry, Akshar Patel is the incumbent vice captain, but it is not always that the vice captain straight away get the captaincy job. It usually doesn't happen in Indian cricket. Sometimes it happens. Rahul Dravid after Saurabh Ganguly, or Rohit Sharma after Virat Kohli, but more often than not, it is a different player. And Shreyas, if he continues to make a statement, it would be very difficult for the selectors to ignore him.
Shubhanda, even since last season, we were discussing this last season around the Champions Trophy as well. That if you look at the squad selection at that time, everyone, like each one of us, we were stunned when Shreyas Iyer's name was not there because he did everything right. Scored runs, took his team to the final, led the team brilliantly, and strike rate was 170 plus last season. So he did everything right. Still, he was not considered for the T20I team. And even look at the recent T20 World Cup, he was not there. Yes, he was there for the New Zealand series, but he was not there. He hasn't played any sort of cricket. It was very surprising that the player who led his team to the final, who scored at a strike rate of 170 and scored 500 plus runs, was not considered. Now, again, Shreyas has started the season on a right note. He's doing things in a right way. And like Shamikda mentioned, Nehal Vadera, Marco Hansen also made this very interesting point that Shreyas gives you freedom to express himself, and that we can see. Even if you look at Punjab Kings official media account, then also Mushir Khan mimicking somebody like Shreyas Iyer doing it. So players, uncapped players, young players, senior players, everyone feel comfortable around a leader like Shreyas Iyer. That tells you something about his leadership qualities. My question is, what is stopping the selectors not even to consider him for a T20I team? Forget leadership, he has not even made the squad yet.
No, I think his unfortunate injury in Sydney also played a role in him missing from the World Cup. He got fit in around January, which was too late for someone to come straight away into a T20 World Cup squad. Yes, we talked we have seen Ishan Kishan made his way back into the Indian T20 World Cup squad. But again, that was different role. You needed a wicket keeper. You did not have a lot of options. But India's middle order at that point was pretty much stacked. So that's why Shreyas Iyer unfortunately missed out on a call for the T20 World Cup. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure selectors would have roped him in for the tournament. But having said that, there are not only Shreyas Iyer, but there are a few options who are captaincy candidates in this T20I setup. You can have a Sanju Samson. Uh, yes, he's not leading an IPL team, but again, a very experienced member of that squad. Uh, has led Rajasthan Royals, has led Kerala. So captaincy wise, leadership wise, he has done it all. Right now, since he was transferred to Chennai Super Kings, that's why he did not push for captaincy. But by don't be surprised if by next year you see Sanju Samson leading the Chennai Super Kings, given the way Ruturaj Gaikwad is performing with the bat. So you never know in that regards. Another player who is a captaincy candidate in that team. I don't know whether Rajat Patidar will make it into the T20I squad, but he's doing everything he can do with the bat, with his leadership qualities to push his case for that number three, number four spot. But even if Rajat Patidar is not there, then Hardik Pandya is another candidate uh, whom who never got his due for the with the Indian team when it came to his captaincy. It was shifted directly from Rohit Sharma to Surya Kumar Yadav, and Hardik was the vice captain, and people talked about why he was not handed over the captaincy before the T20 World Cup. But as Shamikta said, it's a very tricky zone right now because because Surya Kumar Yadav is still unbeaten in bilaterals when it comes to T20I cricket. He has given you the Asia Cup unbeaten. He has given you the T20 World Cup, but having said that, age is not on his side. He's 36, 35, if I'm not wrong, by the time the next World Cup comes in 2028, the Olympic cycle comes in, he will be 38-ish. So that is the kind of age where stalwart giants like Rohit Sharma was also pushed out. And Surya Kumar Yadav, with all due respect, is not on the same level as Rohit or a Virat was. So, if he fails to perform, perhaps since T20Is are not your priority format, particularly in this year, if he fails to get going with the bat at least in the next couple of series, then I don't see him continue as the captain of the Indian team. Maybe Shreyas Iyer, maybe Hardik Pandya, maybe Sanju Samson. Whoever gets it, I think there are plenty of options. I'm not counting Jasprit Bumrah because of the obvious reasons, workload management and him missing perhaps the most of the T20Is in this particular cycle till the 2027 ODI World Cup at least. But there are capable leaders. Anyone who gets this super Indian team, he will do well. I'm pretty sure about it.
Rohit Bhaiya, Shubhanda mentioned about the long-term plan of the Indian team, and we have seen this in the past as well. Whether it was with Virat's captaincy, we know what happened with Virat when it came to his captaincy, how it was handled by the BCCI. But last year, you were there, and we were there in Dubai when Rohit Sharma won the Champions Trophy. But the next tour, we saw that Shubman Gill was appointed as the captain, and the selectors had the reason that we are looking at a long-term and we are not sure whether they will play the 2027 World Cup or not. That's why we want to give time to Shubman Gill. This is a new cycle. We want to give enough time to Shubman Gill to build his own team, structure his own team around. So is it because now since the T20 World Cup is over, India have won, a new cycle will start. So can they do it? Can they do the repeat of last year this year as well? Like Shubhanda said, maybe by the time of Olympics or next T20 World Cup, Surya Kumar Yadav will be 36, 37, 38, whatever. He will be like at the fag end of his career. He already only plays one format. He doesn't play Test cricket or ODI cricket for India. So can selectors say this to Surya Kumar Yadav? Yes, you have done absolutely nothing wrong to be removed as captain, but that Rohit Sharma also didn't do anything wrong to be removed as captain, but he was looking at the long term plan. So, looking at long term plan, same set of selectors citing the same reason, can they convey the same message to Surya? Boss, now your time is over. We are looking at a new leader, whether it's Shreyas Iyer, Hardik Pandya, or a new candidate.
So they have one more thing to say to Surya. In Rohit's case, he has runs also, a man of the match in the finals of the Champions Trophy. On the other hand, Surya Kumar Yadav, we were only talking about that, how the main thing around, we all know this. And Surya, in our interview only after the Asia Cup, he said that how Gauti Bhai helped me. I look for a lot of questions around him, be it that Shivam Dube call in bowling him the first over in the finals versus Pakistan in Asia Cup. So he himself told this multiple times that how influential is Gautam Gambhir at this point of time when you're talking about the T20 captaincy and the setup around this Indian team. And we all know that how Gautam is very proactive and very into it as far as the T20 setup is concerned. How he will be a major factor around the decision makings, or the strategic or tactical calls. You talk about that opening with Sanju Samson in middle of a World Cup. We talk about the different roles assigned to players. So with Surya Kumar Yadav, this one thing also comes up with is that he lacks runs as far as international cricket is concerned, and it's now more than 1 year. Or you can count it from the very start of his T20 captaincy from Sri
2024.
Lanka. From
Yeah.
Sri Lanka 2024, when he started the captaincy, from there onwards to now, you can count, the important innings played by Surya Kumar Yadav in one finger. I think in one fingertips you have all his innings. So that's how bad as far as the batting performance of Surya Kumar Yadav is as of now. So yes, there are discussions going on. That and with talking to multiple sources, I can assure you that there are talks going on at this point of time, that can we have a new captain, after the IPL and when the new cycle will start. And definitely Gautam Gambhir loves to plan. He is a proactive. He's not someone, who will be laid back around it. I'm very sure that he has his plans in his minds. Obviously, the ODI World Cup, the WTC cycle will be in the priority, but I knowing whatever we saw Gautam Gambhir around it in last couple of years, I know that he has his plans around him, because what LA Olympics is just 2 years, exactly 2 years from now, and then you have 2.5 years for T20 World Cup in Australia, New Zealand. So I think he'll be very much ready with his plans. Of course, the priority will be WTC and ODI World Cup, but I think either Shreyas Iyer, or I'm hearing Hardik Pandya's name also, that Hardik Pandya could be is amongst the discussions with multiple people around the setup, that he could be the next T20I captain. But yes, looking at his current form, there's no comparison with a Shreyas Iyer and a Hardik Pandya as of now, because look at what Shreyas Iyer is doing and look at what Hardik Pandya is doing, and look at both their teams. So yes, at this point of time, but the conversations I'm talking about is not a week ago or a 2 week ago. It's a conversation which is going on after the T20 World Cup ended and Surya Kumar Yadav lifted the trophy. After that only the conversation start, that can we have from the new T20I cycle. Because look, last time around also, when you appointed a T20 captain, we all were very sure that it will be Hardik Pandya, especially the performance he did, especially that over in the final, the performance in the T20 World Cup. We all were, very sure around it. And Surya Kumar Yadav came out of nowhere in this whole thing, that Rohit captain, Hardik vice captain, and then you see a Surya Kumar Yadav. Because we have seen in last 4, 5, 6, 10 years, maybe Mahendra Singh Dhoni to Virat Kohli. We all knew that whenever MS calls it a day, it will be Virat Kohli. We all knew that whenever Virat will call it a day, it will be Rohit Sharma. And we all knew that whenever Rohit Sharma will call it a day, it will be Shubman Gill, because he was appointed as the vice captain. But here in the T20 kind of scenario, it was out of nowhere that Surya Kumar Yadav's name pop up. I remember, if I'm getting it right, I think Shamikda only asked this question to Surya Kumar Yadav in Candy, that about Shamikda, am I right? You asked him about the Mumbai dressing room thing.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
said to
Yeah.
you that
At Pal- at,
मैं
at
बदल सकता
Pallekele. At
हूँ. Yeah,
Pallekele. Yes.
yeah. So Shamikda asked him this question. So from there to now, he's obviously World Cup winning captain without a doubt. But as it happened last time here around, last cycle around, I think it can be replicated without a doubt.
Shamik, in 2022, Hardik Pandya won the IPL, and that was with the Gujarat Titans team, which not many people gave a chance. And many people write them off before the start of the season. They write them off that you cannot win this season with with players like Matthew Wade, David Miller. David Miller he was not at the form of his life at that point, and Shubman Gill was rising as a cricketer. So there were not many youngsters, there were not many superstars in that team. But Hardik Pandya led that team brilliantly. 2022, we saw that his rise as captain, and 2023 he followed it up with another good season. Runner-ups, obviously Chennai Super Kings won that season. But after 2022 season, because that season Rohit Sharma had the worst season of his life as captain. Mumbai Indians finished at 10th position in 2022. So Hardik Pandya was elevated as T20I captain, and there were talks that he could lead the team in 2024 T20 World Cup as well. I remember the India-Afghanistan series, which was played in India just before the World Cup. Before that, there were talks that it could be Hardik Pandya, not Rohit Sharma, leading the T20 World Cup team in 2024. But Rohit made himself available. Rohit played the Afghanistan series, and he led the team. He led the team to the World Cup. And but the question is, when you can consider a Hardik Pandya soon after he wins the title in 2022, why haven't you considered Shreyas Iyer when he won the World Cup in 2024? Soon after, you could have considered him. If not in 2024, he followed it up with another good season in 2025. You have made him the vice captain in ODI team. But why there are no discussions around Shreyas Iyer's captaincy when it comes to T20I cricket when he has done enough?
See, the fact of the matter is that it is about the consistency. Shreyas was not in the scheme of things. He fell out with the board. He fell out with the selection committee. The patch after the patch up was done. Now there is a thaw, and now it's all hunky dory again. But Shreyas Iyer even lost his central contract. You have to keep in mind. You have to keep that in mind also. When he won the title for KKR, he didn't have a central contract. In that same season, he lost his central contract. After that, when he returned to the fold, as Shubhan Vidla rightly said, he suffered an injury, and because of that, he was not part of the T20I conversation. And when he eventually became fit, it was too late. It was too late, and the Indian team was settled. See, there is a difference between Rohit Sharma and Surya Kumar Yadav in this case. That unlike Rohit Sharma, Gautam Gambhir and Surya Kumar Yadav have a fantastic chemistry. And as Rohit rightly said, that Gautam Gambhir, as far as at least for in white ball cricket, he's a very, 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 very powerful voice, Gautam Gambhir. So, from that perspective, the way the two gel, Surya Kumar Yadav it is expected that he might be given a long rope. But after a point when you no longer can justify, then you have to bring that into conversation. What I am told by my sources that BCCI have set their priorities after the IPL, and they have set their priorities right. The total focus from now onwards would be the World Test Championship Test cricket. Absolute focus. The one-off Test match India are playing against Afghanistan, that would be an experimental side. Very likely Jasprit Bumrah will not play. And before the Sri Lanka series, Shubman Gill is putting his foot down for a camp, for a longish camp, at least 10-12 days camp. Shubman Gill is putting his foot down because according to him, the adjustments he had to make, the transition from red ball to white ball, and that very little time to allow that transition, that was the reason why India lost so badly against South Africa at home. So the focus would be firmly on this World Test Championship, and then ODIs. Then the ODIs. Yes, India will be playing T20Is in Ireland and Zimbabwe with experimental sides, very, very likely experimental sides. And you can, even if you see a different captain in those two, although Surya now plays only one format these days, so I don't know. But England could be the marker. If in England Surya fails, then he will be on a slippery slope. But before that, I don't see the selection committee taking a knee-jerk reaction like Rohit, because Surya has Gautam Gambhir's backing.
Shubhanda, how big in support it is to have head coaches backing? Because before the T20 World Cup, the talk was around Surya Kumar Yadav's form. Obviously, he scored runs in the New Zealand series, but after that game against USA, he scored a brilliant innings, a match-winning knock. But after that, we saw that he couldn't continue his form. So his form has been a concern as a captain. Last 2 years, if you look at his average, it's below 25 as captain. Yes, he has won matches, but he hasn't been able to perform with the bat, and in captaincy has surely impacted his batting. And looking ahead, like the new cycle will start. Obviously, Ireland, Zimbabwe T20s will be played after the IPL. What selectors would say, if Surya Kumar Yadav will not revive this campaign, like till now he has only scored one half century. If he is unable to score runs like he did last season, then what? Even if can we say that Gautam Gambhir will be able to save him that in that case? Well, because selectors will say that he hasn't performed, and this is a new cycle. There are two new series. We are, we want to try a Shreyas Iyer. We want to give another chance to Hardik Pandya as captain, because there are other performers like Rajat Patidar is performing. If Surya doesn't perform, performers will have to be given opportunity. It should, the selection will be based on the merit. Shreyas Iyer will make a case for himself. Rajat Patidar is making a case for himself. Then how difficult it will be for the selectors, not to bring in a Shreyas Iyer or a Rajat Patidar, the informed batters, and drop Surya Kumar Yadav. Till the time of World Cup, we could understand because he is the captain, you cannot drop him last minute. But now the World Cup is done. Now with the new cycle, you can start fresh.
No, see, firstly, head coach has a huge role to play when it comes to who is the captain or who becomes the captain, because they ultimately have to work together, especially in a format like T20. Uh, and Gautam Gambhir is pretty hands-on when it comes to sharing his tactics, on-field decisions, instinctive calls. He's very hands-on in that regard. So he will play a role in trying to, if he wants to continue with Surya Kumar Yadav. Firstly, we don't know whether Gautam Gambhir wants to continue with Surya Kumar Yadav, the captain. Yes, publicly he has said a lot of good things about Surya Kumar Yadav, the leader. But after winning a World Cup, will someone come and say negative things about his leader or his captain or his players, that he was not scoring runs, etc., etc.? That is pretty common. So behind the scenes, a lot of things can happen. Head coach can come up and give his opinions if asked about when it comes to next T20 captain, and see, ultimately it's the runs that matters. Gautam Gambhir, when he was the captain, his first priority was to score runs for his team. I am talking about his IPL captaincy, and when he failed to do so, he was first person. He was the first guy to step down from that particular post. So if Surya Kumar Yadav is not scoring runs, and if selectors are thinking of replacing him, I am pretty sure Gautam Gambhir would be the first one to say that no, you have better batters than Surya Kumar Yadav right now in the country when it comes to batting at number 4 or number 3, whatever the position is. So, uh, and right now to be honest, there are better batters. Be it Rajat Patidar, be it Shreyas Iyer, both have done extremely well in that particular role. So, if Gautam Gambhir is asked about, then I'm pretty sure he will have his opinion, but it will take time. It is not going to be a straight away reaction, that from Ireland series onwards, from Zimbabwe, or from the England series onwards, let's change the captaincy straight away. I'm sure it will take at least a couple of series for things to settle down, to take that big call and move forward. uh, and as I said, there are capable leaders right now in that Indian setup or in and around the Indian T20I team. Be it Sanju, beat Hardik, beat Rajat, beat Shreyas, beat Bumrah. There are plenty of, Akshar Patel is your vice captain. So there are plenty of leaders in that setup. So it's all up. It's going to be about when they drop the ball, when they drop the penny. Will it be right after the IPL? Will it be after a couple of series? But it will eventually happen unless Surya Kumar Yadav turns the second half of IPL around, score plenty of runs, goes to England, goes to Ireland and score plenty of runs, then I think it will be a delayed decision. But I am not seeing Surya Kumar Yadav leading in the 28 World Cup and Olympics for sure.
That's a big call, and as Shubhanda also mentioned that you cannot play purely as a captain. You have to score runs. If you are playing as a batter, you will have to score runs. Purely as a captain, you cannot play in this team, especially when you have capable leaders like Shreyas Iyer or Hardik Pandya. Even Rajat Patidar has proved his mettle as captain, but obviously he's definitely not in scheme of things when it comes to India captaincy. But there's a chat. Uh, we you all can chip in, but Rohit, you can start. Like, what did you see in Gill in past 2 years as captain? I don't have any confidence in him. Lack of proactiveness, always feel tense. So, what gives you confidence in ODIs?
So this is because of you are seeing him. I think last evening we chatted about it. We discussed a lot about it in our Hindi show. that there was a lot to be, look forward to as far as Shubman Gill, the captain and the batter is concerned. It was not only about, the captaincy he did, but also about the batting. In power play, obviously you played just 7 balls, but what after that? Look at someone like a Devdutt Padikkal or a Virat Kohli. They chipped in after the power play. They hit Rashid Khan, they hit Prasidh Krishna, and that was all after the power play. So if you judge him by what is happening at this point of time, it will be a recency biased. But if you talk about his performances and the way he captained the side, be it in England, be it, yes, ODIs has been not a very good start for him. The first ODI series he led for India is a loss of 2-1 in Australia. But before that, if you see the way the first season he fought for Gujarat in the first season he captained, and after that the way he led Indian team in England, it's not like that he doesn't have strategies or he doesn't have a sense of captaincy when it comes down to lead Indian side. So I think your opinion is very recency biased, I'll say. 2 years in last 2 years there were multiple things, and it's not only about 2 years. I remember asking Chetan Sharma this question last year. I interviewed him and I asked about that, sir. Before Ajit Agarkar, you were the chairman selector. Was in your timeline, is there any kind of discussion around it? Because the people around this Indian team management says that no, it's not. People outside think that we just from nowhere taken the call that Shubman will lead Indian team, but this was a process from last 3 to 4 years. Rahul Dravid echoed a lot about it, that this boy has it in him as far as the captaincy thing is concerned, because he seen him in the under 19 World Cup in 2018 also. So it wasn't us. It's not only this management, but the earlier managements and the head coaches were also in the same page when it comes down to the next Indian captain in form of Shubman Gill. So I totally take your point for last evening, but not agree with you as far as 2 years and this whole thing, that what gives me confidence around Shubman Gill.
Shubhanda, Shamik, anything that you would like to add?
No, Shubhan first. I have nothing more to add. I have nothing more to add.
No, no. Right now, people are running with the IPL wave. So whatever, right now, Riyan Parag is the best captain. Right now, Shreyas Iyer is the best captain. So let's calm our horses down. He has done well as far as his
The
Shubman Gill is concerned.
one thing which
Huh.
is constant is 2016 also Virat Kohli having orange cap on 24th April, and 2026 similar thing, 24th April 2026, 10 years timeline, Virat Kohli again having that orange cap in his head.
So
Virat
yeah,
Kohli
it's IPL wave right now. So a lot of opinions will come in. A couple of days back, people were calling for Vaibhav Suryavanshi's India debut. Right now, after Abhishek and Sanju Samson century, things have calmed down. So a lot will happen. So right now, people are calling for Saqib Hussain's India debut. After a couple of matches, that will also die down. So a lot of things happen in IPL.
Are you going to
So let's
Gopalganj? If you're
no no
saying
no
that it
no
also
no
dying down,
no 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 no
I
no
thought
no.
that you said that it also dying down. So you
Well,
maybe going.
I
You
went
went
to
to
Samastipur and since then Vaibhav Suryavanshi has not scored runs, so I'm not going anywhere as of now.
So just the last thing, people were asking me last night that where Gujarat lost the game. I said that in our Hindi group, Prakash asked this question 21-28, 9:28 in the evening, that who will win today, and around 9:54, Shuvanda said that it will be a GT's game today. So I said that on that very moment, GT lost the game, 9:54 p.m.
No. Yesterday it was GD's game. I think watched it on and off. Virat Kohli, if Siraj would have taken Virat Kohli's catch on or not, it was GD's game. They would have lost that game.
why Washington Sundar dropped that catch is a mystery, and Shubhanda is a reason behind that. But as Shubhanda also mentioned that by the
Even
end of the
Ashwin
season,
tweeted a picture, if I'm right. In social media, there is a picture going on that Ashwin tweeted this picture.
I haven't seen that, but yeah, like Shubhanda mentioned, that opinions will keep on changing every day with every match, every performance. Today, somebody will say Praful Inge, Shakib Hussain will play for India. Tomorrow, they will root for Brijesh Sharma for RR,
Mohsin
like
Khan,
Brijesh Sharma.
Mohsin Khan,
Mohsin
and
Khan.
the other.
Mohsin Khan. So we have said this a number of times. If Mohsin Khan is fit, if he plays 14 games and he performs, he's definitely a India contender. And only the fitness thing is what is concerned with.
He was there before Arshdeep in 2022. Arshdeep got the
Exactly.
debut just after the IPL in Delhi.
He's been there with LSG right from the
He
start.
was really making headlines in that particular season.
Yeah,
14
he's been
wickets,
there.
economy rate of 5.88 or something like that.
Yeah, he's been there with LSG right from the start, and one of the good things that LSG has done is they have backed him. Like KKR backed Andre Russell whenever he used to get injured. KKR always used to back Andre Russell, and that's what LSG has
Even
done.
Kamlesh Nagarkoti, KKR.
Kamlesh Nagarkoti, Shivam Mavi as well, 2 seasons.
Mavi, yes.
Both. Yes. So yeah, this brings end to our discussion. I think the debate around Shreyas Iyer and his captaincy will continue, and I think by the end of the season or whenever the IPL ends, there will be definitely a discussion around this, that who could be the next leader, or whether they will stick with the same combination of Gautam Gambhir or Surya Kumar Yadav. It remains to be seen, but there will be interesting developments, especially once the knockout phase starts, and how Surya Kumar Yadav performs in the remaining matches. That will be something that we will keep an eye on. But as it's a Saturday double-headed day today, Shreyas Iyer will be in action in Delhi when Punjab Kings will take on Delhi Capitals in an afternoon game, and it will be followed by Rajasthan Royals and Sunrisers Hyderabad game in evening. So we will start our pre-match show at 2:30. Don't forget to join us then. Till then, goodbye. Thank you, Shamikda. Thank you, Rohit. Thank you, Shuvenda, for joining. We'll be back soon. Thank you.